All right, guys, welcome back into another PTS update video. I hope you guys have been enjoying the PTS. I know I have, and we've been doing a lot of testing, running around on the PTS, but not too much because I don't want to spoil things for live server. It's just kind of how I am. However, don't worry, this is not going to be any type of spoiler for the region overall. I'm just going to go through some quick things that I thought were really good improvements to some vehicles. I'm not going to go through all these other things because I just don't know a lot about them. Those are things I'll probably have to explore a little bit later. I'm going to just wrap off a quick few things here, and then I'll jump in the game and talk about these EarthRoamers, which you see in the background here. Now, first vehicle improvement here of PTS 32.1 is going to be the ability to switch all-wheel drive for the Resvani. I think this is a good thing. It had always-on all-wheel drive, and this is going to give you better performance with fuel savings because you don't have a hitch. That was not added in here, so sorry folks, that's not a thing right now. It has slightly improved mud cross ability with its unique wheels. I don't know if this entails that the mud rating, the dirt rating have increased, or there could be a width rating. I haven't looked into those. However, I'm going to take their word for it because it's coming from the developer. Damage zones are corrected. I'm not sure of any damage zones that were currently wrong with the Resvani. We'll take it, right? And then I think another big thing here is the crane socket that's added to its roof. This was a thing, it did not have a crane socket on its roof, so therefore you can't crane it onto any type of truck bed or trailer. So all good things there. The only thing I think it's missing is that hitch, but hey, we'll take some of these changes, right? Next, and I think this could be the last thing I really talk about on this video, is these EarthRoamers. I know that whenever they first came out, I covered them, and a huge complaint about them were their ability to have things inside these campers, some weight characteristics, and also one not having an autonomous winch, and then some being tippy. So I think some things were addressed here on this PTS update. So now these EarthRoamers, they join, I think it's around 15 to 30-ish trucks that can actually haul these new logging trailers. These actually join those vehicles to be able to haul those. Do I think this is a good thing? Yes and no, because I don't know if these vehicles have enough power to actually pull those, because these are pretty weighted vehicles. I think the SX is around the same weight as like the Paystar 5070, around somewhere near that, and the other one, the LTi, is actually pretty heavy as well. So at 120,000 torque, you don't have a ton of power to pull those, but I have been seeing some axle lockup just pulling other trailers, but hey, those are all things we're going to test here prior to this review on live release. Next thing I want to talk about is the size of the fuel tanks were increased. I'll go in game and show you guys here these the fuel tanks after I read off the rest of these here. The centers of mass were corrected. I'm not sure if they're referring to the SX, which is on the left-hand side of your screen, the bigger camper, which had, I definitely think it was a little bit more tippy. I would say it's a lot more tippy than the LTi. I think the LTi had a really low center of gravity. It did not have an autonomous winch. Now it has it. So hopefully they did not raise the center of gravity on the LTi and then lower the center of gravity on the SX to the point that they're both just crazy. I'd like to see some variance between the two instead of them being just almost the same, if that's a thing. All right, so we have winch sockets that were added. I know the LTi didn't have front winch sockets, so those were added in the game. So hopefully when you do flip these over, your autonomous winches, which they both have now, you can actually flip yourself over. So hopefully those placements are good and not like the Burlak when it was first released. Now, talk about some suspension improvements. I don't know about if they were bad prior to this. However, if they say they're improved, I'm going to say they're improved. We'll take a look at this on a live stream when the next time I'm actually off work. But anyways, now there's add-on with consumables was added for the SX. We'll look at this in game here after I read off a couple of these other bullet points. Logging trailers or suspension bug was fixed, landmarks are added, and then log loading zones are improved, slightly increased. Other things I want to mention here quickly is the unique wheels for the futon are improved. I'm not sure if that means width or it means grip coefficient or just weight in general. They made changes to the Ancatra suspension. I believe its suspension was kind of, I believe it was leaning, I think, back. So now it's actually in the right direction. So I didn't really notice this when I first started playing it, but I believe some other folks noticed it. And then, yeah, they did go in here and fix this. Massive extended wheels for new tractors was fixed. I don't know much about this point. However, I can find this out, and on stream I can kind of elaborate if I do find more information about this from some other folks. Different collisions or fixes, various visual fixes, sorry, and then localization fixes. I'm not all sure what this stuff is, and then some co-op fixes as well. Now, since I'm not going to really go over all these things because I really don't know, so why go over something I just don't know? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to show you guys what has been changed in game. I'm grabbing my controller here. So I'm looking at the LTI right now. So as you can see, the LTI really hasn't changed much. I think its radar has actually, they decreased how much the radar costs to use. The coverage zones, I'm not really sure how much coverage is still applied when doing this. That's something I need to look into a little bit more. Before, it was much less than the radar trailer. But I do hear that the fuel used for activating this radar is less. So let's check this out here. Okay, so it's 5 gallons now. Okay, that's not too much. Anyways, you can see that it does have a 200 liter, 53 gallon tank up from a 22 gallon, I think 80 liter tank. Huge improvement. So this engine is pretty efficient. The SnowRunner gearbox is not an efficient gearbox. However, you have, toggle off your all-wheel drive, and I think you're going to get a lot better performance. Now you can still tow Scout trailers with this. So overall, huge improvements. Also, I want to mention winch spots. You can see one's on the roof. You have 2 on the side. There used to only be 1 on the side, and then you have them on the back as well. So you have some really good winch spots now. There weren't 2 on the front on the PTS, the first one. So looks really good, to be quite honest. So that is the LTI. Now over to the EarthRoamer SX. I believe this is probably the one that got the changes to center of mass just because it was a tippy vehicle. With its custom tires, I did not feel comfortable driving this thing around. Even though it does have an autonomous winch, it gives you that second chance. I did feel that having a wide footprint, which is the OMD3s, is the move for this. And plus, dualies, having that rear mass scale is something that I do like to have, especially with towing things. So, and I think if you're going to try to tow logs, you're going to need the stiffening of your suspension in the back because you only have 1 axle. So that's also going to be something we test as well. Now, for this vehicle, it does have units of refuel and repair. As you can see inside, it has 43 gallons. I'm not sure what that equates to in liters. I don't have that on my screen, but I believe this value is like 285-ish liters. I think 74. But anyways, we can just check this right now for those who use metric. Yeah, 280, okay. So 280 liters and 160 liters in your gas tank or in your camper. Now, next is what's really, really cool about this. They actually gave it 650 repair points, 3 spare tires. Huge. Also, you have a spare tire on this vehicle as well. Something I do need to add now that we're talking about spare tires is the EarthRoamer now has a spare tire on its back. Yet, as you can see, there's somewhat of a glitch here with its hitch. Not really sure how that happened. I'm sure this will be fixed. So anyways, y'all, these are some changes that just happened today on the 9th. I'm looking for new changes to happen. Like I said in my first video, and I'll say this again, the PTS is subject to change. That's why I'm not going to make a review on these trucks until live server, because I know a lot of things do change in the life of the PTS. So keep your notifications on and check out the stream, because we're gonna be looking at these a little bit more in depth as we kind of progress through the PTS to live server. So until then, guys, have a wonderful weekend. God bless. Stay upright. We'll see you.